We are journey 3 years on, 3 years after, 3 years and more to go. We're joined now by General Manager Afia, Nnamdi Obanya. Nnamdi, happy anniversary! Where are the pom-poms? We shake them up a little. Happy anniversary.
Well, at least I'm not on duty as economic and political correspondent this morning.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different. I can be more relaxed.
I don't think that's general managing goes hand in hand with relaxation.
No, it doesn't.
We saw what you are doing in there at the beginning.
The truth is that people don't know how chaotic your office is, right? Because you have to make sure all hands on deck every other damn day right here. And I'll give it to you, right? I'll give you flowers, because they always say that, why not give people their flowers when they are alive so they can smell it? Not when they are no more there. I'll give you flowers.
No, you're talking about death.
Well, no.
You say Natalie is always saying, what is someone
I'm just trying to... I'm just trying to push forward.
There's a bit of controversy now. You know, when we were on the boats, we felt movement underneath. And now there's a controversy. Was it a crocodile or was it a catfish? You maintain it was a catfish, but I know the sound I heard. Nnamdi, what was it in your view?
First of all, I just want to say one thing. This thing Oji said, it goes to something that, I think every man understands. The first bouquet of flowers a man is given is at his burial. Men are always giving flowers to women, but the first time a man receives flowers is at his burial.
So my sticker on WhatsApp doesn't count for anything.
So when people say that they want to give a man his flowers, it's a very deep thing, and I do appreciate it. It's very deep for men.
But you do have a flower there. We did give you flowers, so you can't sign with other men.
Then secondly, it's Nikki Lake. I really hope it was a croc, because that's supposed to be. I really want to see one here. I've never seen. At Agulu, I've seen, but here I've not seen.
We asked around, though. They were like, yes.
Yeah, people who say they've seen. And
the management too.
Yeah, they say they've seen. But what I'm sure that I saw, being from Delta, I know I'm catfish formations, but even without looking at water, I know where there's catfish, and they prove that. So I know, around the bank there's an area where I'm sure that there are catfish. But I really hope it was, because that adds more.
One thing I think it proves is that the water is being purified.
Yeah.
Because if the water were to be polluted, then what you have is wildlife dying.
Yeah.
You have the fishes dying. Then you probably have their, what my sister would say, gunk floating to the top. I don't know what gunk means.
It's just sort of your refuse and junk that is decomposing. Now foaming to the top.
Exactly. So it's great. It's proof of life. We can say that we're alive. So also proof of life. I mean, everybody's alive. So thank God for that. Okay, so we do encourage you to go ahead and try out the Nike Lake. Factually speaking, go ahead and try out a boat. Try at Nike Lake. Go straight to the reception. Register. Go there and try it right. It is dreamy. If someone is stressing you out, putting you under pressure, everything is ending in insults, please go ahead and try a boat ride. Or then you can also go for a swim. The water is just as blue. So please go ahead and do that. Remember, it is AFIA TV's 3rd anniversary special, and now we have to track back to our story, which seems to have coincided with that of Landmark. What does AFIA mean to you 3 years on, 3 years of impact, Nnamdi, as a general manager?
I think it's so funny. When we came, a lot of things happened at the same time. We came up a few days before the 2023 elections. So we came in with a new federal government, a new state government. So when AFIA came up, a lot of things happened at the same time. It was a situation where it's almost as if fate, I don't say conspired, but all things came together for our good. You had us being at the forefront of something brand new. So everybody was going through, will I say, a kind of shift. And we've seen the region, the country, the world change since AFIA came in 2023. We've seen a lot of things happen simultaneously, and particularly in the region, we've been there to document it. So we're basically, for every governor, whether it's Governor Oti, Governor Wifuru, even later on Governor Soludo, Governor Mba, AFIA is basically their diary, because we came in with them and we got to watch them. We came in just before we came on air, rather. We had been, around and even putting some stuff on digital, but on DSTV and GoTV, we came up just before the election. So in the political sphere, we've been like the political diary of the region. The progress, the controversy, the activity or inactivity, we have it documented daily. On the AM show, it's a great job being done with, the around the region. Every day, people get to see what is happening. It's not that we said, we think last week. No, if you want to know know what happened on any particular Tuesday. We just go to our archives and we can tell you, oh, in Abia, this happened, it is true. So we've been a very, very good diary. Then for businesses coming in, the way we've entered different communities, I was having a discussion with some people in a bank in Lagos. And even while I was talking, was when it dawned on me how we deliberately built some communities, but even, well, I don't accidentally, but while trying to build some communities, we've built so many more. I think of how, and I have to, give very, very big shout out and thank you to Comrade Ufomba, the former Enugu market chairman, our very first, partner in the market in the region. New markets, and from there it was like, because he was linked to other markets. Then, also to Mazio Kechuku, the head of the Leather Production Manufacturer Association of AFIA'S State, Sir Paul Ogba, the president of the Abba Sports Club. These are people who, of course, I can't forget Mr. Kechuku, DJ Sima. We've had so many people who have linked us to so many different commercial communities. Mr. Henry Okora,
what we're doing now is we're basically, because if you start to list the names, Mr. Nnamdi, I assure you, some people will be left disgruntled because that name calling is gonna happen at the end of this thing.
Let me move away from name calling and see why I'm mentioning them. Each of these people reminds me of the communities, whether it's the leather manufacturers in Aba, the area community, or the business community, or the chamber of commerces, or the market communities, even our people in, student leaders like Mr. Divine Ikuremaju, who is, I think he's now SSA Student Affairs, he's from UNN. So the amount of communities we built in entertainment everywhere, Nollywood, it now makes you understand that beyond being a job and a business, we have a purpose and a mandate. The way someone has a mission, whether it's an evangelical mission, we have a mission. We're not just telling a story. We are also, packaging and promoting the image of the region for people to understand and engage.
Let me ask you this question and follow, because I like that you said we're not just packaging a story. Because there are a lot of people that believe that, they say one day after you become like all these other stations, you become like Arise, you become like channels, which are doing very well, amazingly well. But somewhere I know that at each and every meeting that we have with you and the CMD, or the Managing Director, CEO of AFIA TV, Chifemeka Mba, you both always say that we are on our own path, which is one of filling the gaps, trying to, like in the lake when you're trying to tour a different terrain, untraveled terrain. So are we trying to become, or are we charting our own path?
So everybody has a different purpose. We have, and God bless, and I'm very proud of how many, big news networks have come up in Nigeria, because they first filled the gap that was needed, the Nigerian story. But now within Nigeria, we have 254 known ethnicities. We have so many groups and subgroups. Even within the, we're all Igbo here. But you're from Abia, you're from Enugu, I'm from Delta. We have 3 different sub-ethnicities. I'm Anioma, that's my sub-ethnicity. In Enugu alone, there are Osuka people, Nkanu people, so the story has to be told and the nuance has to be understood. Because I say this, and I say this personally, because even someone like me right now, within the, the Igbos that are not in what Nigeria calls the 5 southeastern states, there's a bit of an identity crisis. And if the stories are not told properly, people will be basing their personality, their culture, and their heritage on the trauma and propaganda of the civil war that happened years ago, rather than rooting it in actual history and knowing who they are. So we are putting ourselves, a bridge between history, culture, business, and aspiration, so that you understand that, because if you don't know where you're coming from, you can't know where you are going.
So I want to ask you this very personal question, and no one has ever asked you this question. I guarantee you I could be wrong. When you were called upon to come and manage AFIA TV, you were given the assignment, you were told this is what was expected, and everything was dropped. Now there was someone that the weight was on. What was the task you saw before you? Could you paint a picture of what you saw when you walked into the 4 walls of the concrete building?
So, first and foremost, and this is so funny, I was in Lagos when, Chief Mba called me, said, I got your number, or I heard that you're a station planter, which is what I do. I plant or any station that has crumbled, go and, revive. It's what I've been doing over the years. So he said, I have this vision. And, he told me the vision from. We talked for about 2 hours and we had 3 calls like that. At the same time, when he called me, I was negotiating what was supposed to be my, that point in your career when all your efforts becomes money.
Yeah.
I was negotiating that job in Lagos. But when we had that talk, you need to either be very selfish or very blind not to have seen what was about to happen. And you don't get too many, you can make moments and you can make reputation, but you won't get too many chances to be part of history. And this was not that we were going to be involved, we're going to make the history. So, I'm like, look, I need to come to Enugu. Before that, I had never spent a night in Enugu. One night, I'd never slept in Enugu.
What was a detour for you?
Yeah, no, I had worked extensively in the country. One of my jobs was as a head of a network, so I traveled state to state. But I had never been domiciled in the southeast. I had been in Lagos, I have been in Abuja, Benin, Abeokuta, Ibadan. So when I came here, it was not somewhere I had been before. It was not an environment I knew. So I came in, but you see, it might look like a disadvantage of coming in. But the advantage was I had no bias, I had no preference. I didn't come in with, this is what I'm going to do for you. This is what you need. Because I did not know the terrain. So I first had to come in and know the terrain. So it helped that every solution and everything Afia was bringing was something tailor-made for the region. Not, we made a product and said, come and buy it on the shelf. Yeah. We had to make it based on what was needed here, how the stories needed to be told, what stories needed to be told,
so
who they needed to be told.